Hey gardener, today I want to try fixing the soil in my raised garden bed. In particular, two aspects, the pH and the soil clumping. With these fixed, the veggie roots will have easy access to nutrients for a healthier plant and a larger harvest. So, to improve the soil, I'm going to make some great soil and then water it down with some of the less ideal raised garden bed soil. We are starting off with some coir peat which I am hydrating. This will make a nice, good organic base for my new soil. But it does mean that one wheelbarrow will not be enough, so we're going to need to make some more. I find that breaking the coir peat into smaller clumps creates a greater surface area and really helps speed up the process. Also, by mixing it in a wheelbarrow, it helps the water pool rather than disperse, giving the peat time to absorb it. An added benefit is that you can stand up while you check that you have wet all the peat. Now that we have made our natural organic mix for the base, let's help out the plants further by giving them the nutrients they need by adding manure. So due to the camera running out of space, we missed adding the perlite and the vermiculite to the peat and mixing it in well. Now, if you look at this is not what soil should look like. Remove all the soil that you wish to replace. For me, that includes going down about 40 centimeters to the weed mat. In this next phase, I am declumping the soil. Does anyone have a better way of doing this? If you do, please leave a comment below. So here I'm selecting a clumped piece of soil that has come from the raised garden bed to test what the pH was originally. Using these soil testing kits is super easy. Just add the tie-dye, mix your magic potion, and then puff the magic dragon. Then find out what color dragon you have and act accordingly. Our dragon is 8 to 8.5, so we'll be adding some sulfur to lower the pH, which will react with the soil over the next 12 weeks. The eagle-eyed among you might realize that the pile has changed. We'll get to that later on in the video. Here I am adding compost from my compost bin, which will add worms and microbial activity into the soil. And for something different on this day, I will mix it all together and then refill the garden bed. I am deliberately piling the soil above the lip of the garden bed to account for it settling and the organic matter decomposing over the summer. From my slightly mixed soil, I am taking what I hope is a generic sample of the soil. I am going to add the tie-dye, mix it in and puff on it, and we'll see which dragon we get. Looks like a healthy green dragon. Okay, this is where the pile changed. I lied about only wanting to fix the garden bed. We have some more planting to do. My upstairs balcony is basically empty. However, it gets more sun than most of my gardens, so I'm going to make the most of this by planting some corn, which downstairs has been stunted by shade and waterlogged clay. We are currently 1/3 through summer, so the season for corn is quickly disappearing. The soil I have made should be free draining and full of nutrients, so hopefully the sweet corn will soak up the sun and produce a good crop before the season is over. Corn is generally a plant that you direct sow rather than transplanting, but I went ahead and got seedlings anyway to give them a head start in maturity. This means that the corn is the same maturity as if they were planted at the start of summer. Corn really wants to be planted about 20 centimeters apart, but here I'm only spacing them about 10 centimeters apart. I'll keep my eye on them and see if they need further thinning out to let the sun soak in. As with all transplants, to help reduce the shock, give them a thorough water. Finally, I'm adding a Bluetooth tracker which will measure the soil fertility, the moisture and the sunlight. The temperature isn't very accurate due to being in the sun. The last couple of days have been cloudy and rainy, and you can see that the moisture content has remained high in the soil and the sunlight has remained low. And the fertility gives you a good indication of when you need to give it a top-up liquid fertilizer. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.